Hey, what's up, guys? It's Archonn. I'm going to be giving you a little commentary over my recent World Cup match. This is World Cup 4, Week 2, Team USA versus Venezuela A. And my opponent is Clayclover. Uh, walk you through the team quick. I didn't really have too much time this past week to team build and practice, so I sort of went with a core I'm very comfortable with. You might recognize it from my Metacham video. It's Scarf Mienshao, Bulky Rotom, Blissey, although the Blissey on this team is a little bit different, and Kaffa. And then instead of Metacham and T-Tar, I have a Gliscor, which is rocks and is a pivot, and Hydreigon. I knew I wanted to use Hydreigon against Clayclover, but originally I had a Specs Hydreigon, and one of my teammates convinced me, like, pretty close to the match to switch it for a sub nasty plot. And I'm really glad he did because it is definitely the MVP of this battle. So now looking at his team, I see that Rotom's pretty much a free lead here. Really the only thing I wouldn't want to see would be that Rose, but I doubt he's going to lead it because I have, you know, a Mienshao, as well as the Hydreigon. So I go with Rotom here. This Rotom is the same set that I've been using in pretty much every single one of my videos. It's definitely my favorite set. It's the Bold Iapapa. So he leads with Infernape. I get to scout if this is anti-lead or, you know, offensive Scarf. So I Volt Switch. I was debating Hydro Pumping there, but wouldn't really be worth it if it was Scarf. Which it is. So that tells me his rocker is Garchomp. So I Volt Switch into, or Volt Switch on his Rotom, and this is really his downfall this game. He goes into Rotom, you know, one too many times, especially since I have this sub nasty plot, Hydreigon in the back, which really puts in work on his team. I think it gets, like, let's see, 4 or 5 kills even. So I go to Hydreigon, obviously. So Hydreigon's a free switch in on this, or maybe not a free switch in, but free against this Rotom, because Volt Switch and Hydro Pump don't break my sub, or Hydro Pump has a chance too, but it's only a small chance. So I get a free substitute here. Now I get to get a free attack on whatever comes in here, which will obviously be his Infernape, so he can U-turn and break the sub for whatever he decides to bring in next. I could have subbed here again, but, you know, I don't want to get this thing too chipped right off the bat and risk not being able to sub in the future, so I just go for the chip on whatever he brings in. Also, he could have CC'd there and sort of left me out in the open. So I Dragon Pulse, we get to see what kind of Rose Raid this is. And that's no bulk damage, so this is a fully speed and special attack invested Rose, which means I just get a click Dragon Pulse again and hopefully 2-shot. This thing is kind of scary against my team just because it has the ability to, you know, sleep powder. You know, not too many teams are built to handle grass spam in OU, since there really isn't any grass mons aside from like Breloom or something. So Rose is kind of scary. It's definitely his MVP of this game, I would say. But he decides to go into Infernape and take huge chip on it. So we're happy about that. Now I get to go free into Kava here because he's obviously gonna, you know, either U-turn or CC, both of which Kaffa can tank easily. This is Rocky Helmet Kaffa, obviously, so I get a little bit of chip on this Infernape. So that thing's almost dead already. I know I can finish it off with a Mienshao, or, you know, Gliscor, which also has a Rocky Helmet. So he goes into Rose here. So now I have a kind of tough decision to make. You know, expecting a Sleep Powder. If I go into Blissey, then that just kind of sucks for me because I have to switch out right away, and because of Blissey's ability, I'll get cured right away, so then he can put something else to sleep. Um, so this kind of sucks for me. So now I'm in on Blissey. I'm trying to think, alright, well, if he sleep powders again, you know, what would I want to get slept? Hopefully he just doesn't click it again, though, and thinks I'm going to stay in, because I'm a Blissey. I decide on Mienshao. You know, this Infernape's already, 14%, whatever that was. It's sort of the lesser evil to get Mienshao chipped right now. Or, I mean, put to sleep. But he goes for the Toxic Spikes, which is probably the worst decision he makes this game. You'll see why. I really don't understand this play. I would say it for sure loses him the game. So I U-turn onto this Cofagrigus, and I just gotta go free into Hydra again. Set up. Get some more chip. His team really wasn't equipped to handle this Hydreigon. Luckily for me. In scouting him, I saw that he used Tentacruel and Hippo a lot, so I was trying to sort of build around that. Sort of landed on Hydreigon. So I sub up. He goes into Rotom, which is an awful play in my opinion. It just means I get a, nasty plot here. He goes for the Hydro Pump, I believe. And it doesn't even break my sub. So quite unfortunate for him. And I'm pretty much at full HP still. So I get to chip this thing to death. Not to death. In a manner of speaking. He Volt switches, which does break the sub. If he would have missed that first Hydro Pump, then that would have been quite bad for him. I would have gotten a kill for sure on something. Goes to Chomp. So now I know that this thing is rocks. So I'm not really expecting it to do too much damage. Maybe he just Dragon Claws or something. So I go into Gliscor to take whatever attack, or even to have a pivot if he decides to rock up. Although rocking up would be quite risky there. He goes for the Draco Meteor, which almost kills. A little scary. Reveals he's Life Orb. So now Rotom's pretty free here. I can tank a -2 Draco. Or, a Dragon Claw, which this thing is bold, so I'm fine with that. Draco does about 30%, I believe. 36. I know I tank a Dragon Claw, so I have a few options here. I could go for the Will-O-Wisp or Hydro Pump for some chip, so I can sort of kill this thing with Mienshao U-turns. Will-O-Wisp would also be nice, because that means I can tank with Blissey on this thing. Decides to go into Rose. I go for the Hydro Pump, which is good because I want to keep this Rose at around that 50% range so that my Hydreigon can kill it. So now you'll see here why this Toxic Spikes play was awful. I can switch into this Blissey here, not worry about getting put to sleep, and utilize what my Blissey does best, which is heal up the rest of my team. So this Rose really can't touch me right now. I just get to sort of walk all over it with this Blissey because I put the Toxic Spikes down. So now I get to heal something up, deciding either Rotom or Gliscor. Looking at his team, Rotom's a bit more useful. Oh, I might go for the teleport here. Oh, no. I guess if I wanted to keep momentum, I could have teleported here, but I think right now, in this sort of mid-game, it's a little bit more important to keep things healed up, sort of win this war of attrition. End game typically is when I would not wish there and teleport out. So I wish up. He goes to his Kappa, which is quite an interesting play. You know, I would think he would want to put some sort of pressure on me, but I don't know. I guess I haven't revealed a wish yet. So I teleport out. I get to heal whatever I want up. I choose Rotom. Rotom's a lot more useful in this game. Rotom can beat, you know, Scizor. If it's full, it can tank an attack from that Infernape. You know, Garchomp tanks a hit or two. Keeping this thing healed up is pretty big, especially since I have that Iapapa still. When I sort of utilize that. So this time I go for the Will-O-Wisp. You know, I didn't really want to take any chances with him. With that Scizor, I just want to get that thing burnt, kind of put it out of commission. But he goes into his Rose again. You know, this is free Blissey again. Goes for the Leaf Storm. Maybe thought I was gonna Volt Switch out there, but not really worth it. Trying to chip this Blissey. So now he's at -2. 100% he's switching out this turn. He can't do shit, so I'm gonna teleport and keep some momentum since I got my Rotom healed up. Gliscor I can use as a sack. And he goes into his Rotom. We all know what happens then. Get a free substitute. Now, I brought a pretty good team against these toxic spikes. You know, 4 of my Mons can't get toxic. Or I guess Blissey can get toxic, but it just gets healed right away. You know, toxic spikes really only did me favors this game. So he U-turns here. Subbing again would have been a better play this time around, because a Scizor is pretty obvious here. But, you know, again, didn't want to risk it. No point in risking it. I can get this Scizor chipped, which will be big in winning the War of Attrition versus my Kappa. So I do a nice like 30% free Kappa switch in. Bullet Punch. And I seize Life Orb, which is quite interesting. That sort of comes back into play later. So now that he's Mummy and I know he's sort of that he's Life Orb, I can just go into Rotom here, and Volt Switch or Will-O-Wisp or something, but he sort of predicts that and goes right into Rose, which is a good play by him. So now he has some more momentum. Chip my Blissey a little bit more. Here I'm kind of deciding, like, I don't know. Should I make a play? Is he gonna, like, I don't know, try something? We still don't know what his 4th slot is. Goes for the Leaf Storm though. Glad I didn't do something stupid. Fortunately he misses for us. Free Wish now again. Goes into Scizor. So now I get to hard switch into Kappa and heal all the way back up. You know, I am scared of a Swords Dance here. Wouldn't be ideal, obviously. Decides to go for the Roost, so that's a little annoying, but I also heal all the way back up, so Now here, looking at his team, Hex is pretty free. You know, he's obviously not going to stay in with this Scizor. Infernape, if it switches in, I kill. Rotom, I kill. You know, his Kava doesn't want to Hex, obviously. And best of all, Hex against this Rose puts it back into Hydreigon range. So that's quite nice. Really want to keep this thing in that range. Really, I should have chosen Blissey already. I mean, Blissey's so free. Oh, I guess here I'm deciding if I want to sack Gliscor so I can maybe bring in Mienshao or Hydreigon to get a kill. But there are better ways I can utilize my Gliscor sack. So Blissey's free here, obviously. Rosa de Guadalupe. Goes for the Sludge Bomb. So now we know his whole set. That is a little scary for me. You know, if he decides to Leaf Storm here and maybe gets a high roll or something, Toxic kills. But I have no choice other than to Wish and try and get this thing back up. But he doesn't even Leaf Storm, he just goes for the Sludge again. Leaf Storm was 100% his play there. So I don't know, it's just these little misplays that sort of add up and lose you the game, you know. I mean, I'm sure him putting Toxic Spikes down, he didn't think that was a misplay, but really it was. You know, he goes into Rotom maybe one too many times, and that's the game. Can't kill my Blissey there. You know, just these little things that sort of stack up. Especially with the threat of a Hydreigon in the back. It's like, he really needs this Blissey to die. So we're glad we saved our Gliscor. We get to sack it now. He uses Stealth Rocks, so he's Life Orb, Stealth Rocks. Don't really see that too often. Usually it's like lefties or something. And he uses Flamethrower, and we can sort of guess that his last is going to be Earthquake. So my Marodom's free here to defog. You know, as much as I like these Toxic Spikes, it really puts my Blissey on a timer with these rocks up now. So I know I can take a Draco Meteor and get a bunch of health back with this Iapapa. Enough so to take another attack from this Garchomp if for some reason he's Dragon Claw too. Most likely he's EQ though. So I get the defog. So now we have a couple options. We can, you know, Will-O-Wisp or Volt Switch, which is what I end up doing. You know, he's not going to stay in at -2. I really want this momentum. Risking this Volt Switch really is a big play here. So now I have some more options. I could go for Hydreigon, Dragon Pulse, which is a roll after Black Sludge, so I could risk it. I could go Mienshao, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm calking Mienshao's attacks. U-turn does not kill, but CC does. So it looks like Mienshao will be my play just to sort of threaten the CC. Suppose I could go... No, I wouldn't go Blissey, obviously, because Toxic Spikes aren't up anymore. Mienshao's my play here for sure. At this point, I'm figuring out, you know, CC kills. I can threaten a CC. But obviously, with the Cofagrigus in the back still, you know, CC isn't a play. So I go for the U-turn. He goes into Scizor, which is not a good play for him. If I would have CC'd there, you know, that thing's dead after Rocky Helmet and Life Orb. So I just go back into Rotom to Volt Switch, you know, U-turn Volt Switch. Such a great combo on any team. Which is why I like this core, you know, it has that sort of option. So I Volt Switch, he sacks his Infernape, which is a big threat out of the way. You know, that's his fastest Mon. Still could have done some damage to my team, but he uses it as sack. Just go right back into Mienshao. Just for future reference, I'm dubbing this core, the Mienshao Rotom Blissey Kappa core, the Archonn. You've seen it here first. That's the Archonn. Alright, he goes into Kappa. A U-turn out. I don't want to go into Hydreigon yet, because I don't want to catch a Will-O-Wisp. You know, we're still in the mid-game. I don't want to put my Hydreigon subs on a timer. You know, lefties is really the only thing that's letting my Hydreigon sub up consistently, and getting burnt sort of counteracts that, so not ready for that quite yet. He still has his Scizor too, which sort of counters my Hydreigon. So he goes hard into Scizor. Now I have the opportunity here to make a play. Since we know that this Scizor is Life Orb, a Bullet Punch does not kill a full Mienshao. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm calculating what Bullet Punch does to my Mienshao, and if CC kills in return. CC doesn't kill, but after Life Orb it does. So if he decides to stay in and Bullet Punch, CC kills this Scizor. And other than that, you know, unless he goes into Kappa, CC gets a kill anyways. If he goes into Rose or something, CC kills. We already calced that. Kills a Garchomp. Rotom's low. If he goes Kappa, I can just go right back into Bliss. Or even hard into Hydreigon, I guess. So I end up going to Mienshao and go for the CC play. And he bullets. So we live with about 10. Gets hurt by Life Orb. Boom. Scizor's dead. So that's a huge threat too. And now I would say we're entering into the end game here. His team's pretty much fallen apart. I would say my Rotom has done its job. The things that it would counter are dead now. So now I feel a little bit more confident going hard into Hydreigon right here. You know, Will-O-Wisp doesn't really scare me anymore, since a sub would pretty much mean the game now. But my opponent makes a great play, predicts this, and doubles right into Chomp. So he has all the momentum now. You know, he gets a kill for sure. Like I said though, my Rotom has fulfilled its purpose. You know, Scizor and Infernape are dead. Can't really do anything else other than like maybe burn this, but it's better used as a sack right now against this thing. So we're just hoping for like Draco Meteor misses, I guess. Finally reveals his last move, Earthquake. Goes for the Draco and hits. Earthquake was for Blissey if I decide to bring that in. It was a fine play, but in this circumstance, you know, probably would have been better for him to Draco Meteor twice just in case the first one missed. You could always Earthquake the second turn if I have Blissey in. So I U-turn, and luckily it doesn't kill, which means I get to bring in Hydreigon and finish up the game. Sub up, we already know. Hydro Pump or Volt Switch can't break. But this time it does. I don't know. Kinda sucks. From what I knew last time, Hydro Pump doesn't break, so it's like, well, what the fuck? But I just get a sub again. And he misses this time. So I have a fresh substitute. Gonna kill this thing. I can only really kill this Garchomp right now if I have this sub up. So, I mean, that's why he goes Rose. Maybe he can catch a low roll and break the sub for Garchomp. But I don't think it is a roll from that range. It just kills. If he would have went Garchomp there, you know, I could have just killed that Rose next turn anyways, and that would have been game. I say AGG in chat. We already know his 4 moves, so I'm not scared of dual chop like some people say in chat here. A Metacham catches my attention. Love Metacham. Zymo says, I bet my spleen on Archonn. Cheers. Obviously goes for the Draco. Kill the Chomp. And all that's left is Kappa. So this is a good game. You know, I went with the Archon core, which is something I'm comfortable with. I can guarantee you I will not be bringing this core for my next game in World Cup. So if you're trying to scout me right now, don't even try. But yeah, good game. Was super fun. Hope you learned something. Hope you learned a little bit more about the Archon core. Maybe Hydreigon will see a little bit more use. But yeah, other than that, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, go ahead and like the video. Subscribe. Probably be doing more commentaries on my future matches. Yeah, thank you.